Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and you're watching The Royal We. In this message, I want to talk with you about the concept of generational curses and how to break generational curses as they pertain to toxic, narcissistically abusive, dysfunctional families, and how to step into your blessings. So that's what we want to get to within this message, is breaking the generational curse and stepping into your blessings, your inheritance for the rest of your life. Now, if this sounds good to you, hit the like button and I will continue. Now let's talk first about what a generational curse even is. Now, the legitimate definition of a generational curse is that of negative patterns being repeated throughout a family genealogy. So what affects the grandparents trickles down to the parents, trickles down to the children, and then the children's children, on and on and on. That's the technical definition of the generational curse. Now, many of you perhaps have looked into the concept of generational curses, and perhaps you've even gone to churches to be able to receive prayer because you believe this generational curse hangs over you and won't leave you alone and is affecting all of your relationships, correct? And you may have even received that prayer and felt good and walked out the door, but then you went right back into that negativity, the toxicity of that narcissistic family, and it's like that generational curse is still there. I want to share with you from my own personal experience, my own insight, what I believe the generational curse actually is and how you can truly break it. Now, I believe the generational curse, yes, is in fact negative patterns that are passed down from generation to generation within a family or within a community or within a city or within a state or within a country or within even a nation. However, I believe that those patterns can be broken simply by you deciding to leave. I believe that your involvement in the patterns is what creates and is what locks in the generational curse. It's not that the generational curse is hovering over your head, it's that you're partaking and walking back to the generational curse, and you're living there underneath the roof of the generational curse. And now I want to share both my personal story, but before I get to my personal story, I want to share with you some ancient literature out of the Old Testament. And this is the story of Abram. And the ancient people are telling us something so profound in this story if we will just pay attention. How many of you have heard of the story of Abram, whose name was later changed to Abraham? Now, according to the story, Abram spoke with God according to the ancient literature. And God said, I want you, Abram, to get up and to leave your father's house. Leave Haran, which is the area in which he lived. Leave the family, leave this culture, walk away from Haran and go now to the place that I will show you. And here's the promise. The promise is, I will make you blessed. I will bless you. I will give you an inheritance. I will make you the father of many nations. That was the promise. The promise depended on what now? That he get up and leave and walk away from Haran, the place where he was born. Now, pay attention, this is not any easy task. What Abram was asked to do was to walk away from everything he ever knew in life, his upbringing, his culture, the people, the rituals, the customs, the traditions, everything. He had to turn his back on it. That's not an easy thing to do. But guess what? The blessings in his life depended on him being able to do that. That was the stipulation. God said, if you want to be blessed by me, you must leave. Why? Because when you are involved in those traditions in Haran, a part of those customs, then a part of that lifestyle, part of that family, living under your father's house, living in that area, that's all you're going to get is the rewards that is there, and that is the generational curse for every generation that stays in there. The curse is living in the same thing, doing the same thing day after day after day. And the problem is we get accustomed to this. We call it our culture. We call it our traditions. We call it our customs. Christmas Eves, Easters, all this and that. never fully understanding that it is our desire to be in these things that is causing the generational curse to not be broken over our lives. Abraham made the right choice. He left, scared, not knowing exactly where he was going to go, but he knew that if he separated himself from the customs, traditions, and the cultures that he was accustomed to, then the generational curse would be broken and he would be in a position to be blessed beyond his imagination. And it took work. He had to move. Now let me share with you my personal experience, which I can say reflects in a lot of ways that of Abram's. And I know I did not do this on purpose. It just happened. I spent my entire life in California trying to fit in with family. My family was from California. And what is the generational curse that I've experienced there? Families of adulterous affairs, different marriage partners, right? California was a big place for the hippies, and that's just what they do. Even the California churches have a certain atmosphere of a hippiness to it. You just can't escape it because that is a part of the culture that people are accustomed thereto. And now I did not fit in with my in-laws. My family began to scatter in different areas, and all I wanted was to fit in to a family dynamic there, and I couldn't fit in with my wife's siblings. And I didn't realize it, but God was calling me out of there saying, will you leave this place, go to a new place that I will show you, and I will bless you. Leave the customs here that you're used to, trying to fit in with the families. Leave the culture of this behind you and go to where I'm showing you. I didn't know what was going to happen. We packed up, moved to Missouri, 5 states away. I had no job. I had no real plan. I had no real purpose for even moving, except I felt led to get out of there because I felt as we were living there, I felt the heaviness of a curse just existing over me and my family. And so I left. And I'm going to share with you the blessing that I received once I arrived here. And I was still upset because I couldn't fit in with my wife's family very well. One of the things that I believe I was told in my conversations with God was this: Kevin, don't worry about their family. It says, Kevin, I didn't call you to join their family. I called you to become a family. And by standing up and getting your family and packing yourselves and moving based on trust and faith to a place that I have brought you to, you will be blessed. Not only am I being blessed, but now there's more to it. I no longer feel the generational curses of the atmosphere of where I once was. I no longer feel the burden of being a part of the customs and the rituals and the parties and the birthday celebrations that was a part of the families of where I came from. It's being a part of these things that create the generational curses and make it difficult to break away from them. It's not enough to just pray about generational curses while you're still interacting with the generations of those curses from before you. Does this make sense? Now listen, the point of this message is not to tell you that you need to get up and move 5 states away like I did. Maybe some of you just need to get out of the roof of your parents' house. Start there. Maybe some of you can just move to a different city. Maybe some of you can figure out how to emotionally and mentally detach and separate yourself to the point where you're not even engaging in the customs and the traditions of the family before you because you realize the toxicity of the family and you want nothing to do with it. So maybe the boldness that you have to take is not being a part of Christmas Eve celebrations, not being a part of Easter celebrations, not being a part of the Thanksgiving celebrations. Why? Because your enmeshment with these traditions and these customs is the enmeshment that keeps you stuck in a generational curse. And you will never have anything greater than what you put your heart into. And if your heart is being put into these traditions and these customs of the family that you're wrapped up in, then that's what you're going to receive. I know this is a difficult message, but I pray that it touches and softens some of your hearts right now, those of you who are listening. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. I encourage you to visit www.jointheroyalwe.com, where you can schedule a one-on-one appointment with me. We could FaceTime. If for you Apple, iPhone users, we could also do a telephone consultation, and we could also do a text message consultation. Again, it's www.jointheroyalwe.com. Also, every Monday night is Royal We Live Chat. This is where the community comes together, and we chat. We ask and answer questions. You could even call in for free, so long as you understand that you will be live. And then Saturday mornings is Royal We Fellowship. It's a brand new biblical study, and it's based on the understanding that the world is toxic and narcissistic. It's unlike any other Bible study you've been a part of. This is every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Now, you can find the links to everything you need down in the description box down below. So scroll down to the description box, find the channel links for all these things, and Instagram and Facebook, and I will be back with more videos right here on the Royal We.